Now, you all know how much I love downtown Fort Collins and Old Town Square. So the Northeast Quadrant holds a special place in my heart. But what quadrant I'm most excited about in Fort Collins? The Southeast Quadrant. South of Prospect, east of College Avenue. That's what this video is going to talk to you guys about. The pros, the cons, main characteristics, housing statistics. So stick around and enjoy this video. And if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing, liking, and commenting at the end if you've enjoyed the content. What's up, everybody? This is Patrick Soukup with Soukup Real Estate Services here in Fort Collins, Colorado. And as much as we like making these real estate videos for YouTube, we enjoy more working with buyers, sellers, and investors here in Northern Colorado. So if you're considering relocating, selling, or buying an investment, reach out to me. We've got your back when it comes to moving or relocating to Fort Collins, Colorado. So without any further delay, let's jump into the Southeast Quadrant of Fort Collins, Colorado. Enjoy. So what really defines the Southeast? Well, we've got a mall that was actually just acquired by a local developer, which local seems a little bit of a stretch these days because they are a massive developer and doing projects all over the state and I believe the country. So we're excited to see what's going to happen with that huge area, which is the mall. It's a quick, easy access to I-25. So if you're commuting, needing to get down to DIA, the Southeast is great for you. Again, Fort Collins and Loveland are each growing relatively significantly. So that gap between Fort Collins and Loveland is getting closer and closer, as is Windsor and Timnath getting closer east to west with Fort Collins. This tri-city area, Loveland, Greeley, Fort Collins, is all really growing at a quick pace. In these areas, it's going to be kind of a tri-city area. That's kind of what I foresee in the near future. So we have two high schools that this Southeast feeds into, Fort Collins High School and Fossil Ridge. We really have an east border of I-25, although it does expand east of that technically with some addresses. Still a lot of very minimal infill, but tons of commercial along the Harmony Corridor and College Avenue. Significantly more than really any other quadrant in what we've discussed. So there's tons of development opportunity. And that's really where we're seeing the majority of developers put their money is on the Southeast. There's a lot more space east of College and south of Prospect, so that could definitely be a reason why. And being along that I-25 corridor is attractive to many when they are becoming more of a community. We are becoming somewhat of a commuter community. But now, of those characteristics, what do I feel are the biggest pros and cons? Let's go. Now, although the Southeast Quadrant doesn't have a ton of culture per se and history based off of Fort Collins culture and history, as you get south of Prospect and east of College, the age of construction gets closer to that 70s, 80s, and then definitely a ton of new builds in the 2000s and in the last decades. So we won't have as much culture, but that being said, coming with that, we get a lot of the new construction. So Front Range Village shopping area, which really was kind of quiet, but as we have seen it grow, it's continued to bustle. The Nike outlet just moved headquarters there. Great restaurants, super Targets. So it's a really growing, exciting area. And then the mall. What is going to happen to it? I've read a few different things of potential reconstruction, even though we just totally redeveloped and sank hundreds of millions of dollars into that project. It looks like if McQuinney is able to acquire that, they're going to transition some of those parking lots and areas into multifamily. So I think a pro is that area will eventually get to be the desirable area that it was intended for upon development review and acceptance by the development committee. From there, if you like movie theaters, we're big movie theater folks. So the only two movie theaters in the town, I should say big named movie theaters, because there is the Lyric, the Northeast, so I can't, Northwest, so I can't diss on that because that has a significant following, very boutique, cool indie type film movie theater. But if you're looking for the Cinemarks and kind of the newer movies coming out, these have the two newest movie theaters. And with all the new residential development, commercial follows rooftops. And with the more rooftops that come, the more commercial will follow it. We have seen a crazy last 12 to 14 months with COVID and the impacts on commercial. I do foresee it coming back and coming back very strongly based off the population growth here in Fort Collins. And with population growth as big as it is, what we've seen in previous videos discussing population is, definitely the Southeast Quadrant is going to be bustling, growing, booming, probably at the highest rate comparatively to the rest of the city. With that comes some cons. So let's jump into what are some of the cons of living in the Southeast Quadrant. With new development comes the unknown, the uncertainty. So today you might be able to see the foothills out your backyard. Well, maybe in 2 years, what's being planned there is a 4-story hotel that you're no longer going to be able to see anything. So the unknown is definitely a big con here on the Southeast Quadrant. And it will continue to be that for the foreseeable future. So if you're looking at buying or building or having a new construction house, those are some things that to keep into consideration. And that might affect your resale value. If what you're paying is a premium lot, and then in the near future, you're not able to see those beautiful foothills and wonderful sunsets, definitely something to be considering. And again, these are kind of it's newer builds, newer construction. This is really a newer city, more or less. And Fort Collins is doing it great. Again, on College Avenue and Horsetooth Quarter, those are going to be our major commercial areas with residential tucked in behind it. One thing that I've discussed in previous videos is how well Fort Collins has been planned out and mapped out. So to my point of what the unknown is, yes, we very well may have some bigger, commercial multifamily buildings being built or hotels, but the location and the intent behind it will be very well thought out and approved. One thing that I didn't discuss, which is definitely not a con, it is a big pro, but is if you are living on the Southeast Quadrant and you want to be downtown, there is an extremely good amount of bike trails. In between 20 to 30 minutes, you can get your way downtown. But the reason I put it in the kind of the con area is if you do want to be spending your time downtown on the weekends, this will be your furthest commute downtown, probably from 15 to 20 minutes on a busy Friday afternoon. And I get it. When I say that, I get kind of some grief because if I've told some California folks that are moving here, the commute time from Southeast to downtown is 15 to 20 minutes, they laugh at me. They would take that all day long. Usually that says how long it takes them just to get a few blocks at times. But here in Fort Collins, I've called us travel snobs. Being in the Southeast Quadrant, it is a trek down there. Then, as we continue to grow and get closer to that I-25 corridor, that I-25 corridor is going to get larger and bigger. So it might go from 2 lanes to 3 lanes. And maybe you didn't hear the interstate in 2015, but in 2025, it is very likely or possible that you have to deal with that interstate growing as it will with the population growth here. So that is one con to consider moving forward. And the final con is the cost of housing. This is going to be the most expensive quadrant. Not necessarily the most expensive per square foot. It's actually a very good value per square foot because these houses are bigger and bigger on the Southeast Quadrant, but the actual purchase price is going to be the most expensive. So we've discussed all the pros. This is developing area, Fort Collins, Loveland getting smaller, closer together, new builds, commercials, the movie theaters being here. There are tons of bike trails to get from south to north, but along with that comes some of the cons of the commute that you're gonna go to get downtown and then being close to I-25 and maybe not as much culture, but to live in the Southeast Quadrant, if you want to be here, and this is where I live in the Southeast Quadrant. I love the Southeast Quadrant. I'm most excited about it. the cost to live here. Let's dive in. Now again, this is between July 1st of 2020 and December 31st of 2020. So these numbers will have changed over this last quarter in 2021. So reach out, ask, figure out what these new statistics are to keep that in mind when you are house hunting. Let's jump in. Average sales price, $569, median, $519 for a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house with about 3,200 square feet, between 3,100 and 3,300 square feet. Built in 1995. Again, this is going to be our newest age construction. These houses are only going to be sitting on the market for 46 to 57 days. As we getting up in price points, it is going to become a smaller pool of buyers, so it will have a little bit of an increased days on market just based off the amount of buyers that can afford that. What those price points put you at are between $164 and $176 per square foot on 0.19 acres to 0.36 acres. There are going to be some larger lots, but the median size lot is 0.19 acres. So if you're looking to buy in Southeast Fort Collins, those are some of the statistics to keep in mind when house hunting. Figure out if you're getting a good deal, if you're overpaying, or if you are going to be paying on the upper end and needing to live there for a significant time to see the equity catch up for the price that you paid. So there you have it, folks, the Southeast Quadrant in Fort Collins, Colorado. Some of its characteristics: being along I-25, the Harmony Corridor developing, College Avenue, the most amount of new developments, commercial rooftops, or commercial will follow residential rooftops. But some of the cons, the unknowns: what's going to be built next to me? How big is I-25 going to get? What's the commute from north to south? And then the housing prices, plus $500,000, now a little bit more square footage, 3,200, so you're about $165 to $175 a square foot. All those things considered, we still haven't even necessarily talked about, the 2 golf courses here on the southeast side of town. 2 of the best high schools, Fort Collins High School, Fossil Ridge, Go Lampkins, is on the southeast side, as well as all of the new construction that will happen along this area. So that is really what the Southeast is all about. I'm most excited about it. I've enjoyed living here really my entire life while I've lived in Fort Collins. I did live only 1 month out in Loveland, but when I've lived in Fort Collins, it has been exclusively on the Southeast side. So I'm biased, okay? Southwest, Northeast, Northwest, all have different aspects that are going for it. And hopefully this video has helped you understand a little bit more about those characteristics and nuances about that Southeast Quadrant. So if you're looking at moving and this is the area for you, reach out. Again, send me a call or send me a text or email, give me a call. We'll take a drive, understand the area, and see if this is where you want to live next. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, take care.